Labour will do better. We will end this farce. We will restore serious government to our borders, tackle this problem at source, and replace the Rwanda policy permanently. As the first step in this plan, a new manifesto commitment. We will set up a new command with new powers, new resources, and a new way of doing things. Border Security Command. Now, this is about leveraging the power and potential of dynamic government based on a counter-terrorism approach which we know works. An end to the fragmentation between policing, the border force, and our intelligence agencies. A collecting of the standards. So the border protection becomes an elite force, not a Cinderella service. An essential frontline defence that communities like this can depend on. To do all that, Border Security Command will bring together hundreds of specialist investigators, the best of the best, from the National Crime Agency, the Border Force, Immigration Enforcement, the Crown Prosecution Service, and yes, MI5. All working to a single mission, all freed from the cloying bureaucracy that so often prevents collaboration between different institutions. Now, I've seen this firsthand at the Crown Prosecution Service many times. Good ambition is never enough on its own. But I've seen how, with determination, with leadership, with single-minded focus, agencies can work together and deliver results. And not just within one country either. We can cooperate across borders. And that's not some kind of weakness. It's absolutely essential. These criminals do not respect national borders. I mean, when I was at the Crown Prosecution Service, we had prosecutors posted in Pakistan working on counter-terrorism operations, in the Caribbean on smuggling, in West Africa disrupting the flow of drugs coming from South America on their way to Europe and ultimately to Britain. And these operations are not easy. Just think about conducting a raid. I've been through this so many times, seen it in real time. If you've pooled all the intelligence in one place, if you've spent weeks, months, years mapping out the patterns of criminal activity, bringing in prosecutors to help assess the vital evidence, then you cannot have your raid in London going off a single minute earlier or later than the coordinating raid in Paris. So yes, we need more cooperation on illegal migration. We need a new partnership with Europol. We need access to real-time intelligence sharing networks that are so crucial to our security, and which the government so casually threw away as part of its botched Brexit deal. And that's why I've already been to The Hague with Yvette to start pushing for a new security pact with our European partners. But look, it is also my firm belief, based on years of experience in this area, that we also need new and stronger powers to bring these vile criminals to justice. Now, in some areas of criminal activity, now counter-terrorism is the most obvious, we have made the decision that the crime justifies tougher measures. And make no mistake, we have reached that moment with illegal migration. These vile people smugglers are no better than terrorists. They're a threat to our national security and a threat to life. And it's time we treated them as such. That means new powers that, as with would-be terrorists, can be used pre-conviction with High Court approval, that can limit the ability of the gangs to conduct their vile business before arrest. Powers that will allow us to shut off internet access, close their bank accounts, trace their movements, using information provided by the intelligence services. Or powers like stop and search at the border, or raiding and seizing evidence before an offence has taken place. Let me explain why. Because seriously, we use the term small boats. But the boats are not, for the most part, that small. The gangs now use dinghies that are on a scale way beyond anything you would see for legitimate recreational activity. And we should be working with our European partners to seize those boats, seize material here in the UK to collect further evidence, turn over every stone, use every reasonable power. And that is my message to the smugglers. These shores will become hostile territory for you. We will find you, we will stop you, we will protect your victims. With the Border Security Command, we will secure Britain's borders. And we will also rebuild Britain's broken asylum system. As I said at the beginning, I believe in a rules-based asylum system. I believe that a system that processes claims quickly and humanely, and that finds ways, without squeamishness or cruelty, to detain and remove people who have no right to be here, is essential for security, fairness, and justice. It is a form of deterrence in itself. Because until we're seen around the world as a country that has a firm grip of the process at our border, until we're busting the Home Office backlog, arriving at decisions quickly without a fuss, so we can return people who have no right to be here, then yes, Britain will be seen as a soft touch. And it goes without saying, we do not have that effective deterrence at our borders at the moment. Our rules-based asylum system isn't working. Ask anyone in this part of the world. That much is obvious. So it's not hard to see why the Prime Minister might want a path to deterrence without the hard graft, the boring graft perhaps, of fixing the wider system. But I'm afraid, like so much of what he says these days, it's magical thinking, a symbol of the unquenchable Tory desire for the shortcut, the easy fix, the sticking plaster, gimmicks, not serious government. Let me spell it out again. A scheme that will remove less than 1% of arrivals from small boat crossings a year cannot and never will be an effective deterrent. It's an insult to anyone's intelligence. And the gangs that run this sick trade are not easily fooled. In fact, by allowing vast numbers of people into the country via this route, running up a perma backlog of nearly 100,000 people, refusing to process the claims, so that even if they have absolutely no right to be here, they cannot be removed, billing the taxpayer for expensive hotel accommodation, because like Hotel California, there's no prospect of ever leaving, no prospect of a decision for or against. Then let me be clear. The government has achieved the complete opposite of what they claim, a travel lodge amnesty handed out by the Tory party. And that is warmer and safer than spending winter under canvas near a beach in northern France. And if you don't think that's what the gangs are telling the people they exploit, you've never met one of these gangs. So no, we have to restore integrity and rules to our asylum system. We have to clear the backlog so we can return people swiftly. That is the path, the only path, to real deterrence. That's why we will hire hundreds of new caseworkers for the Home Office, and we'll do it straight away. We'll create a new fast-track returns and enforcement unit that will make sure the courts can process claims quickly, and we will save taxpayers billions. The £8 million we spend every day on hotels, an £8 million a day message that Tory chaos has a cost. Labour will stop the chaos, Labour will bust the backlogs, Labour will rebuild our broken asylum system.